Ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to go ahead and get started on our American Groups research project. We're going to start with a little preliminary research, and that means that basically you're going to get a better hang of what some American groups are, what they consist of, and then a couple that you think you might be most interested in. So the first step, I'm just going to take you through the research guide. So the first step here is with your assigned partner, you'll brainstorm 5 to 10 unique American groups and you'll record your ideas here. Now, an American group can be pretty much anything as long as people are apart together. So, anytime that people get together socially or work together or live together, anytime there's a gathering or people belong, then that will work as a group. So come up with as many groups as you possibly can here. 5 to 10 is a great number. If you want to do more, that's even better. And you'll record those here. Okay, then after you've brainstormed your 5 to 10, you're going to choose 3 of the groups to conduct your preliminary exploratory research on. You'll list the names of those groups here. So you might be wondering now, okay, well, what's an example of a group? For right now, let's see. I am currently, as a teacher, sponsoring the Youth and Government Club. That is a group. That's a group here at Liberty. Red Rhythm, that's a group here at Liberty. The band, that's also a group here. You might want to think a little bit more broad, something that might be more national. For example, like Girl Scouts would be an American group, or when I was in college, I was in a sorority, so maybe I would research my sorority, which was Alpha Chi Omega. So that is a more national reaching group, so maybe think about those things. You could even possibly do like a sports organization, like professional organization, like say the Cowboys, or the Cardinals, the St. Louis Cardinals. Something like that if you wanted to. But that might be a little bit, well, it's a great example of a group, but it contains a lot of followers and a lot of people, and so that might be a little bit difficult to do. So you might want to pick a group that has a little bit more specific clientele. Hopefully that's enough examples for you. If not, then speak with your partner, speak to people next to you to see if your idea qualifies as a group. And typically it will, because the reach is very far reaching. You can also pick a political group. You could pick a religious group if you wanted to. Anything where people gather socially and belong in a way should be fine. So you'll choose 5 to 10 first, as I said up here, brainstorm those. And then you're going to choose 3 to do preliminary research on and list those here. So for each of the 3 groups you're going to start your preliminary research on, you're going to record a number of elements for each of those. You're going to start with this basic search so you can develop a better understanding of each group, and then when you finally select one to do the rest of your project on, you're going to have some background information and you'll know whether or not it's interesting to you or whether or not you can find good examples of your group and whether or not there's enough information for you to pull from. So you're going to repeat these questions for each of your 3 groups that you're starting your basic research on. When did the group form and originate? What was the purpose of the group? So why did they get together? Why did they decide to form? What are the criteria for membership? What do you need to be or to do or to accomplish or to have to be part of the group? Is there a certain gender you have to be? Is there a certain level in school you have to be? Do you have to attend a certain institution? Do you have to have graduated from somewhere in specific? Do you have to be in a certain profession? Maybe you want to study the American Dental Association. Well, clearly you'll have to be a dentist and you have to have graduated from dental school and be licensed. So what are the criteria for membership? And that's going to be very different depending on which group you choose. In what activities or behaviors did the group participate? So what things do they do together? Do they have meetings? Do they host events? Do they get together to cheer on a team? Do they get together to conduct research or have presentations? Any types of activities or behaviors that the group participates in, we want to see, we want to know about. And then what are the stereotypes, positive and negative, about the group? Don't just put none, because of course there are going to be stereotypes. If you're not sure, then maybe put what your thoughts about the group were before you researched. Like maybe you decide to do St. Louis Cardinals and you thought, okay, the positive stereotypes, they go to championships quite a bit, or they go to the postseason quite a bit. And then maybe the negative stereotype is that they are very rarely successful. And I'm saying this because I'm bitter about last night's game, but you know, things like that. You can come up with what your thoughts about the group are prior to doing research. So somebody from the outside looking in, what might their thoughts or misconceptions be about the group? And that's kind of how stereotypes are formed. So positive and negative, so both good and bad. And you're going to repeat that again for each of these three groups here. The best advice I can give you to start with in terms of research is to go ahead and start on the group's website. So let me see if I can pull up my internet here and see if it's loading. Okay, good, Google Scholar. We'll do the example, we'll go with Girl Scouts. If my internet loads. But we can wait. Oh, awesome. Okay, so here's the Girl Scouts official website. So I'd click on the website there. I'm using the Wi-Fi at school, so my internet's a little slow. You'll have to bear with me. I'm sorry. Okay, so here we go. So they have a Who We Are tab, facts, leadership, history, advocacy, investings, global Girl Scouting, careers, diversity. So already you're seeing there's a wealth of information on this group website. What's their portfolio, journeys, girls guide, high awards, travel, cookies, ooh, cookies. Uh, all of these different tabs here will provide you different types of information, and it'll give you information about group members and what they do and what the stereotypes might be. You can look at the pictures and see. So definitely start with the group's website. That is a fabulous place to start. It's going to have a lot of information, hopefully, and should give you a lot of what you need. So there's Girl Scouts. You can also use Google Scholar. I'm not sure if you guys have ever used this before, but I just Googled Google Scholar. And then you can click, and this is going to give you scholarly or academically inclined return on your searches. So we'll try Girl Scouts here again on Google Scholar, looking for articles. Okay, so it brings me back 66,100 results. Oh my gosh, that's way too many. So let's set a time frame. It's always good practice to keep your research within the last 10 years because it ensures that you're finding the most current information. So we'll set from 2004 to 2014. Okay, that drops my results down to about 20,000, still way more than what I can look at. Let's see, sort by relevance or by date? We'll do by date. Let's see, how does that look for, okay, pagan values, the failure of environmental education. I don't know if that was a good idea. So maybe let's go back and we'll search by relevance again. Okay. So Girl Scouts behind bars, that doesn't look like something we'd want to talk about. We're trying to find information about the group, so that's probably not right. Prevalence of bee sting allergy, no, that's not relevant. Keeping incarcerated mothers and their daughters together. Okay, this might be some sort of program. So we're getting a ton of stuff. So maybe that's not what we want. Let's specify it a little bit. So if you do that, you're going to add keywords. So we have Girl Scouts, we'll put that in quotations because we want, when we press search, we want to make sure that we actually find the word Girl Scouts together instead of just spread out throughout the article, because then you won't find Girl Scouts. You might find Girl and Scouts separately, and that's not the results that you're looking for. So Girl Scouts, and let's see, we're doing a group project. We want to know about members, we want to know about their values. So let's search for values, Girl Scouts and values, and see if that brings us fewer results. Okay, that narrows us down. What do we have here? Girl Scouts survey on the beliefs and moral values of America's children, youth organizations, the discipline of teams, what business can learn from nonprofit, clarifying values clarification. Okay, that wouldn't be bad, maybe. Manuals for socialization. Oh, this looks really interesting. And look, it says qualitative sociology. Okay, so this might be really interesting. So we'll click on that. Get started here. then that link will pull up to a different site for us. Letting my slow internet load. Okay, so then here is your article, and it gives you a little bit of information about Girl Scouts. So the abstract is basically another word to say summary, and the abstract gives you an overview of what the article is going to talk about. So typically before you even start reading the abstract, before you start reading the article, you're going to want to read the abstract and make sure if the article will actually fit into your research or not. And if it doesn't, then you can say, okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and discard this article. I'm not going to waste my time reading it. It's not covering the topics I want it to. But if we look at this abstract, we can talk about societal expectations, youth organization handbook. This is probably going to be very helpful for us with our project, so this would be a great article for us to use. And it doesn't look like it's too long, so that looks awesome. So that would be a source that I would read and then I would pull information from. Okay, so that's how Google Scholar works. I love Google Scholar. I would love for you guys to give that a try. But let's go back to the project here. So after you've found information about those 3 groups initially, then you're going to go ahead and make a selection out of those 3. You'll choose one to continue for the rest of your research, record it here, and get my signature before moving on. So since I won't be here today in 3rd and 4th period, you can have just go ahead and make your selection, and you can start your research, and I'll check it for you on Tuesday when I see you next, and I'll give you the signature then, unless your group is for some reason inappropriate or not school appropriate or not conducive to your research. If you'd like to, you can email me at littleg@friscoisd.org, and I will respond to you during class, and I can give you approval that way so you can continue on your research, because I'd hate for you to waste time. Okay, so you're going to continue in your research, and on that one group that you've chosen, and eventually your project will include an interview with a group member, a compilation of your research findings, and your sociological analysis. So basically all that means is you're going to find someone who's in that group to interview. You're going to put your research together. So everything you research, you're going to summarize that, and then you're going to add an analysis of groups and status and roles based on what we've learned in class in sociology. And I'll help you every step of the way, so don't get overwhelmed with this just yet, but I want you to know where you're headed with your project. Your final presentation will either be in the form of a newspaper article, a TV broadcast segment, so you can make a video, or a group newsletter. So you'd make a newsletter as if you are a member of that group and you're giving information to the public. To help you best prepare for that, you should plan to use the prompts below to guide and facilitate your research. So the questions, some of them are, how has the purpose of the group evolved over time? So what did they originally set out to do, and how has that evolved, or has it stayed the same, and how do you know? What do the group members value? You can check the website for core values, which are typically listed somewhere public for others to look at. So go ahead and check their website and record some of their values. Are they linked to any culture, ethnicity, religion, nationality, political organization, interest or hobby, etc.? How closely are they linked? Like, if it's the NRA, we know that the national, if it's the NRA, we know that they're super closely linked to like the conservative side. And we know that that's a lobbyist group, so they hold a certain amount of power. And the National Rifle Association, the NRA, should make it obvious to you that the interest or hobby there would be protecting Second Amendment rights, so the right to bear arms. Okay, does the group have any political power itself, or representation or endorsement from someone who does? The NRA obviously has some political power. They have some sway. They are a lobbyist group, so that would count. For Girl Scouts, I don't know if they have political power. You'd have to check that out on their website and see, or if they have maybe a state representative or someone that endorses them. Look at their policies, rules, guidelines, and mission statement, and our vision statement. List those here. Identify their norms, folkways, or mores. The mores for the group will be closely linked to their values, and it'll be linked to a clearly stated policy or procedure. Create a profile of a typical member, so what type of person belongs to these groups, what are the roles that exist, how is status attained. Sorry, I'm running out of time, so I'm going fast. Is it primary, secondary reference, who makes up the outgroups, and any additional information.